Hey, what's up? It's Ollie here. I wanted to tell you just for a little bit about my number one weakness. Now, everybody, I don't care who you are, right? You're going to have, as a person, because of the way your mind works, you're going to have things you're really good at, right? You're going to have your zone of genius. You're going to have skills, things that you just excel at pretty much without much effort, talents. But on the flip side of that, you're going to have stuff you struggle with. So I wanted to talk for a little bit today about how I have taken one of those things that I struggle with, one of my weaknesses, flipped it on its head and turned it into a strength. So if you've ever met me in person, you'll realize pretty quickly that I'm a massive introvert, right? I'm not really a big talker, to be honest with you. I prefer to listen. Even though I'm doing loads of videos and stuff, like, believe me, after this video I need to lie down for like an hour and and decompress, right? Because I have my time when I'm on, but that's like 3% of the time, and then 97% of the time, right, I'm sort of in my own world. I'm an introvert. So because of this, my strengths are doing work by myself, right? I'm totally comfortable just sitting down doing writing or content creation or editing, scheming, making plans by myself for hours on end. Like, I'm totally comfortable doing that. When it comes to doing stuff that introverts aren't necessarily strong at doing, being surrounded by people, that's where my weakness lies. So my biggest weakness is human interaction. So look, I love people, right? I think things in life are majorly overrated, and really the greatest happiness comes from your relationships, from people, and through just having good times with other people. However, for me as an introvert, human interaction is like a major energy drain, and I can only do it for so long, and then I need time off. Now, unfortunately, when you want to run a business, right, 99% of the stuff that you do involves people. You've got to sell to people. You've got to work with people, whether it's your staff, whether it's your suppliers, or whether it's people in your network you're collaborating with. Most of what happens in a business involves people. So, I mean, before I decided to start a business, I actually thought it was going to be impossible because of how introverted I am. I thought, well, this just isn't going to work. It's going to be horrible for me. And I pictured myself, having to be like a salesperson on the phone all the time, or doing, door-to-door selling or something in order to make some money. So I thought, well, business just really isn't for me. But then I discovered all of this online stuff, selling products without seeing or touching the product, without dealing with the customer. Selling stuff online, whether it's information products, to say an email list, so you don't have to actually do the selling. You can just send a video to somebody magically through the internet. They watch the video and then they buy a product, right? That to me was like incredible. So my initial plan for turning my weakness of not really wanting to be around people, not really wanting to be in an office where I would just get drained, turning that into a strength was, well, what if I could build a business which requires pretty much zero human interaction? Now, because of this kind of strange way that my brain is wired, I was forced to become really good at making sales happen in my business without having to talk to people, without having to do any selling, and I became awesome at automation. So using Amazon to sell products, right? Most of it's automated. You send stuff into a warehouse, it somehow gets there. I still don't even know how it really gets there, right? You just put labels in boxes and UPS do all the rest. Amazon FBA do all the rest at the warehouse, and it just happens and it just works, right? You don't have to see anyone. You can just focus on building the business, looking for the products. That was how I initially dealt with the problem. Same with when I sell information products, courses, right? I have an email list, and I create videos and webinars, and I deliver those. Most of the sales happen sort of in the background without me having to, speak to people on the phone and make things happen and sell. So this is initially how I dealt with the problem. And through that weakness, right, through finding creative ways to deal with it, that's how I turned it into a strength, by like going round the longer route of finding all of these ways to sell stuff without human interaction in order to build a business. Now, thing is, that only worked until a certain point. Like, once you're selling a certain amount of stuff in any business, I don't care what the business is, I don't care how automated it is, at some point you're going to have to hire people to help you in order to make the business grow, right? In order to take it from a certain level to the next level. Like right now, for example, I'm scaling from 6-figure level to a 7-figure level. And, you know, it requires a whole new set of challenges that I've never had to encounter up to this point. One of those being, I need staff, right? You have to have people on your team in order to grow to a 7-figure level. There's no other way. You can't do it by yourself. And the quicker you learn this and just embrace it and learn how to hire and manage people, the better. But the problem is, okay, I solved the issue of, you know, not wanting to, say, set up like a storefront where I have to be communicating with customers all day and selling face to face by selling stuff online. But now I've got to hire staff, right? And this is in the same area where all my other weaknesses lie, in the people section of my business. So through this, I had to find a way to turn it into a strength, right? How do you have a ton of people working for you or with you, right, to build your business without having to be in an office from like, say, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., certain location, every day, same people, you know, lots of people in a room with me, constantly asking questions, me looking over their shoulder. For me, that would be majorly overwhelming, and quite frankly, it would drain me. So how do you get over this? Well, I managed to turn that into a strength by deciding to run my business 100% remotely and build a remote team. So I actually looked out there for somebody else who was in my shoes and kind of did the same thing. This is like the best way to turn any weakness into a strength. Look for somebody who's just like you, has what you want, and then break it down and reverse engineer it so you can apply the same stuff. And I found that a personal finance guru, Ramit Sethi, Ramit Sethi, I believe is how you pronounce it, he actually has a virtual team, right? So he doesn't have an office where, you know, he goes to every day, but he has people working for him dotted all around the world. I think he's got maybe 20, 30 people in his team, and he's got a 7-figure business selling courses. So because he's done it, right, and he's proven that, you know, it can work, I reverse engineered what he's done, and now I've got 2 people working for me in my business. So this is how I turned a weakness, like not wanting to just have tons of human interaction all the time, into a strength. And now, because I run a remote team and manage them, they're actually much more productive than they would be if they were in an office, I believe, because they can work whatever hours they like, right? They have like sort of a set number of hours each week, but they can choose, you know, their calendar, which I believe will make them more productive, right? Because they don't feel restricted. It comes with its challenges, of course, right? Because managing a team remotely, I mean, you have to put certain infrastructure in place just to understand what's happening. Are people hitting their targets? Right? How's progress going? What are the challenges that they're facing? How can you help them to you know, get reach their potential, exceed their potential, and, you know, all those kind of problems. But I think overall, it's more productive than having everybody in an office being forced to be there, you know, from 9 till 5 every day. So this is how I've turned a weakness into a strength. I'm curious, what are your weaknesses and how are you gonna turn them into strengths? I'd be so interested to hear your story. Leave a comment below. Let me know what your weaknesses, A, and B, how you plan to turn that into a strength. And for bonus points, I'd love to know who's a person that you could model break down how they've managed to achieve this, reverse engineer it, and apply it in your business. For me, it was Ramit Sethi with his remote team, which I think is incredible the way he does it. There's got to be somebody out there for you. Maybe you're an extrovert and actually you love being around people all the time, all day. When it comes to sitting by yourself and getting 4 hours of admin work done, for you, that is just painful. Well, there's got to be a way that you can overcome that barrier. Maybe you can team up with somebody who absolutely loves sitting down and doing admin work. Believe me, there's actually people out there who do enjoy doing admin work, which is very bizarre, right? But they do exist, right? Maybe you could team up with someone just like that, and that would be how you turn your weakness into a strength. Whatever it is, I'd love to know. Leave a comment below, and I'll catch you soon.